take a look at this part up here. Profile. Okay, take a look. So when you're in your pilot profile in the anniversary edition, you want to go into your private profile. The logbook is cool too, but this is the place where your ego really takes over. Go into achievements, and if you look here, they've got a whole list of things that you can do. In other words, they've essentially gamified virtual flying in a big way. Now, I know this is even more so in 24. They've got a whole career you can do there. Hopefully, we'll get to that at the end of May or early June. But between now and then, there's plenty to do. And you can see I've already hooked up many of these. Nonstop flight, 300 miles, takeoff to landing, 100%. Got that one. Utilize autopilot for 600 miles. Light chop on the green. Land on a grass runway without using any assistance, 100%. Stay on target using an ILS landing. Dead stick landing, 100%. Complete a spotlight event, 100%. Okay, now here's one I'm still working on, okay? Taxi an aircraft a total of 100 miles. Okay, 41%. Yeah, because I was making the mistake of landing the airplane, okay, and not taxiing to the end and shutting off the engine. So it doesn't count. Yeah, you actually have to use the taxiway to get to your parking spot. Land at an airport where wind speeds are in excess of 15 knots without using assistance. That means on the stick, 100%, okay? So got a lot of things. Here's where we're at in the bigger picture, though. And I know this is going to make some of you wince a little bit. Like you're going to wince a little. You're going to get that weird feeling inside, but you have to understand. When ego takes over in a video game, there's no stopping it. You can't stop it. You can't. It drives you nuts. You stay up nights trying to figure out how you're going to accomplish all these things in the shortest time possible with the least amount of effort and money. Okay? You know it's going to affect your life. You just try and minimize it as much as possible. So let's take a look here at what's coming. Accumulate 1,000 hours of flight time, 6%. You do the math. Literally, even if I flew twice a day, it won't be till next year sometime. We're going to try and make up for it with some special events. That's how you get your wing commander stripes. Okay, here's Journeyman, 500 hours. That's like the halfway point, 13%. So, you know, Microsoft and Abzo Studios, whatever, they're putting it out there. Like they're just dangling out there for every virtual pilot to look at and kind of get that feeling, go, you know, I can do this. That's the feeling they're trying to create here. World traveler successfully land at 500 different airports. 6%. Now, this one is interesting right here. This one towards the bottom. And there's a little joke here on this one. Okay. Jack of all planes, complete a 300-plus mile flight with every aircraft in the standard edition. Okay. Now, this means several planes without autopilot. Several planes you have to sit on the stick because of the stability issues. Okay. 300 miles. It's like 2 or 3 hours, depending. And when you put a mile on there, by the way, 300 miles, that means the flight time is going to be different for every airplane, just so you know. Just so you know. Okay. Landmark spot. Yeah, that one's tough too. I can't get the smart cam to work quite good. This one, I'm almost there. SIDS and stars land at 25 different star airports on the world map, 80%. Now, for this one, you have to go, and it's usually a very rural airport that's kind of short, kind of dangerous, kind of mountainous. It's got something, and there's plenty of them out there. Complete every activity, probably not this week. Complete 10 activity, probably not this week. IFR flight time, takeoff and landing, 47%. We're getting there. Night owl, 50 hours of flight time at night, 12%. Okay. Accumulate 100 hours of flight time in a single profile. Okay, 68%. Honestly, if I had sat down and said, yeah, in a month ago, right? If I'd said, yeah, I'm gonna spend 70 hours in a flight simulator, just trying to spot things in land places, I would have laughed. Today, it's one of the most important things in my life. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. Transparent, open and honest. This is what Microsoft and all these companies do, okay? All these social media companies, they gamify everything, okay? And it's spreading. It's spreading into every area of our life. You're going to go to the store someday, and you're going to register. They're going to be like, sorry, you can't come in the store until you get your email account. And you got to download our app. And you're like, well, I'm starving. I want to go in and go shopping. They're going to be like, now, you got to register here at the store. You can go on our website. And then once you're registered, you can go in the store. And you're like, that's really weird. So you get the app, you register to go in the store just to get some food, just to the grocery store. You get in the grocery store, and immediately like a little fox pops up, a little cute fox. And the little fox is like, would you like to join our game of Shopping Spectacular? And save money while you do it, and get credits in our store that you can cash in later at our virtual store for our best meat, something like that. So you're like, huh? And the virtual fox is like, yeah. You get to go shopping and play our game. And you'll save money too. And so you're like, okay. And so you go around the store and you're shopping with the little virtual, and then all of a sudden this little notification pops up, bing, and they're like, hey, every time you see Bobby Stock Rabbit, he's the little rabbit at the store that restocks the shelves, take a picture of him with your phone. And suddenly you'll notice around the store there's all these little stickers with Bobby Stock Rabbit. And you'll take a picture of the rabbit and you'll get these little virtual credits. And they're going to have you going around the grocery store, taking pictures of Bobby Stock Rabbit, the little sticker. And by the way, every time you see one of these stickers, there's going to be 10 products on the shelf there they want you to buy. Yeah. Like the Stock Rabbit isn't there for nothing. And you're going to take a picture of the Stock Rabbit, and it's going to be like, try our new coffee for 5% off. It's right there in front of you. That's going to be Bobby Stock Rabbit. But the clincher is going to be when you get home. When you get home from this virtual or from this store, this grocery store, where you had to sign up for this app to even get in the door and get your food, and you're chasing Bobby Stock Rabbit around the store. When you get home, they're going to be like, hey, the little virtual fox will come back up. Freddy Fox is going to come back up. He's going to be, hey, would you like to save an additional 10% the next time you go shopping? And you're going to be like, 10% off? You know what I just paid for eggs? You know what I just paid for milk? Just the basics? I couldn't even get out of that store without spending $200. That's not even going to feed my family for 4 days. Of course I'll take 10% off. How do I do it? They'd be like, just come shopping after 7 p.m. Don't come to our store at any other time. You got to be there at 7 p.m. And you got to get out of the store by 10 p.m. You get a 3-hour window. Come shopping for just only in that 3-hour window. You got to come in person. And you get an additional 10% off. And you're going to be like, And the first thing you're going to say to yourself is, who's the asshole that thought up that? Who is the asshole that thought about an app and an email and a scheduled window to go get my groceries when literally a year ago I could go 24 hours a day? Now I got to hop through. Who did that? Who came up with that idea? I'll tell you, it was Mickey Mouse. Yeah, Mickey Mouse at Disneyland started all of this. It's their fault. So don't be mad at me. All right, flights of fancy, complete flights of at least 300 miles using a prop. Yep, got that one. Hydroplaning. I just started this one. Okay, 50 hours of flight time in rainy weather. And this is part of the reason we're doing our flight on 421. On 421, we'll be flying Bordeaux, France to Seattle, Washington. Just be at the Bordeaux airport, 421. 8.5-hour flight. Pretty crazy. It's going to be fun. But the reason we're picking that time is we're going to be doing part of that at night, so we can clock up some of those flight times at night. And we're going to be it'll depend on what's happening with the live weather, but we may be switching that up to rainy weather so we can clock off some of those hours on that one as well. We'll see. Okay, this is interesting. Gold Rush. Complete the Nevada bush trip. I can't find it. I can't find the bush trip. I can't find the Balkan one. Patagonia, I think, but yeah, some of these I can't find. These could just be legacy things from earlier versions that never got the update. I don't know. We'll see. If you know the answer to some of these questions, please drop it in the comments. I'm fully open. Now here's the big one right here. Frequent flyer miles. Okay, fly from Bordeaux near the Asobo studio to Seattle, Washington, near Microsoft headquarters. Now, I actually had to look this up because I couldn't figure out what LFBD was. So I just punched in Asobo Studio. And you know what came up on my iPhone? Asobo Studio in Bordeaux, permanently closed. Permanently closed. So I'm assuming that's why they have this in the game. You have to take the flight that the pros and creative professionals at Asobo Studios had to take when they were acquired by Microsoft Studios. Or Microsoft Studios. The Microsoft Mega Headquarters Corporation. Now owning farmland near you. Yeah, so they had to take that flight. You want this achievement, you got to take that flight. You got to take that flight at night. You got to take that flight in rainy weather. That's how you get your pilot profile up to professional. That's how you take 70 hours and turn it into 105. Yeah, there's some training flights before you do that 8-hour flight. So that's what we're up to over here. The only other one that really caught my eye that's let's see if I can find it. It's really strange, and I would love to get some feedback in the comments of exactly how this works, because it didn't make sense to me after I ran the numbers on this. Okay, so there's an achievement in here where, oh yeah, here it is, saddle sore. Okay, I need some help on this one. Okay, and I'm very open-minded, so whatever y'all have to say about this. But okay, so this achievement right here, saddle sore. Yeah, right here, saddle sore. Complete a flight of at least 8 hours with a propeller or turboprop aircraft. Okay, there's a serious problem with that. And let me show you what that serious problem is. Okay, so let's go into available airplanes and take a look. So it has to be a 8 hours turboprop. The one we took today, sorry, 5 hours. Nope. Okay, here's one that's 7. Even this one's pretty tough. That airplane is a little unstable. It's okay. It's not my favorite. Here's a 6er. Couple others down here that are 5. Here's the twin at 6, which would be perfect, but it's got to be 8 hours. And so, you can just imagine you go to all the trouble to make an 8-hour flight, and at 6 hours your plane crashes. Except for one right here. The spruce goose. So, according to what I'm seeing here, to get that achievement pinned to your chest and fly 8 hours on a turboprop airplane, which, by the way, I better check because I'm not sure the spruce goose is a turboprop. I don't think so. We'll find out. We're still doing our homework on this one. But according to my research here, there's one plane in the game where you can fly a turboprop a full 8 hours. The spruce goose. And boy, is that a pain in the ass. So yeah, any comments or feedback on this would be really helpful. Thanks very much.
Welcome back to The Price Genie at thepricegenie.com. This is the face of AI design. Artificial intelligence is going to be everywhere, so why not put it on your shirt? The robots are coming. This is the face of AI. Seriously, this is what AI really looks like. It looks great on aprons, coffee mugs, and coasters for a gift. Shirts, skirts, dresses, hoodies, sweatshirts, baseball caps, dad hats, and bucket hats. They all have the face of AI. We've even got tote bags, duffel bags, blankets, pillows, duvet covers, and shower curtains. Yes, even acrylic block art for your office, all with the face of AI. New items magically appearing every day. Subscribe to the Magic Lamp. It's all at The Price Genie at thepricegenie.com. Quality at great prices.